This was a very exciting roll I did with my brown belt student and friend Alex. It's action-packed as Alex really brought the intensity, which I love because these are both my favorite kinds of rolls to actually do and my favorite rolls to commentate. You might recognize Alex from a few rolls we did when Alex was a blue belt. Now that he's a brown belt, let's see how he improved. We start out with Alex a bit cautious and defensive, trying to keep maximum distance away from me with his hands, as well as his hips. So I give Alex the underhook and happily take an overhook for myself, the thought being to give Alex something, tempting him to take action. And he does, he shoots for my legs. As you can see on my face, I'm briefly a bit panicked and thought that my plan backfired, but I sprawl out, forcing him to switch from both my legs to the single leg. As he starts building base, I take my overhook out so I can use that arm for a switch by placing my arm between his legs, and then use the switch to get behind him. This is another switch that I used earlier in the night, and it's a great way to counter single legs, double legs, and body locks. I use it all the time, and it's really one of my favorite moves to hit. As I come around for the back, Alex hides his back to the mat, so I continue with the momentum to re-expose his back. However, he hides his back again on the mat. He avoids the back take in place of side control. I initially start climbing up to get over his knees into mount, but I can't get him flat, and feel like I'm at too much risk of Alex going knee to elbow, which would position his frames back in front of me. So back to side control I go. Look how Alex is doing a great job of keeping his elbow tight to his body. Because of this, I'm finding it hard to connect my hands around his body, which would give me much greater control over him. And he times that lack of control well by using it to transition to turtle. I again chase the back, but he again hides his back, but I've landed in a leg drag type position with my knee in his hip pocket. I use this to enter the saddle by throwing my outside leg into the inside. I should have better prioritized stopping his rotation, but I got a bit greedy trying to dig for the heel right away. Watch how Alex does a great job rotating to hide his heel and clearing the knee line as he rotates. First by placing his hands on the mat to start yanking his leg out, and then when there's enough room, he uses the assistance of his secondary leg to clear his knee from my control. As I come up on top, I lose control of his foot and now I have zero connection to him, which means I can't stop him from coming up. But before he can get a solid grip on my legs, I shoot my knee behind his elbows to hide my legs and advance position. He tries to sit through to his guard, but I roll with him and get what I wanted, my chest on his back. In a previous roll we did when he was a blue belt, I tried sitting through and he tried rolling for my back, but I countered it with my own back take, so I just thought that was a pretty cool thing to include. I then hit a gator roll on Alex, a move that gets you points in wrestling but nothing in jiu-jitsu, and is kind of pointless, beyond just kind of making someone pay for being in turtle. I hang out in turtle a bit too long, and again without my hands connected around him, he's able to move, and successfully sits through to his guard, although he's still not in the best position because his hips are facing so much away from me. I try to dive in and get close and smash him down, but he pushes me away and improves his position. With both his feet between my legs and his hands on my ankles, I'm at risk of him getting underneath me. Getting my feet in the middle and getting underneath people is my usual game plan for my own guard, so I know how effective it is and how important it is for me to address it. I strip his grip off my ankle and then keep my feet away. I then split the guard by forcing his right leg to the outside. I'm in a much safer position with his guard split. I try for a leg drag, but I'm unsuccessful, so I simply change my angle to get around the frame of his knee, which also exposes his back. At first he does a great job keeping his hip to the mat, leaving no room for me to insert a bottom hook. But when he raises his hips ever so slightly, I find the space to get my bottom hook in. I hand fight for a bit, with the goal being to get a rear naked choke, but when I'm able to lock up the body triangle, I get pretty confident I can tap him with it by squeezing my powerful legs around his waist. He kind of screwed himself by getting to his knees, because now I can really put the squeeze on as he's bearing my weight, and I get the tap. I think a lot of people use caffeine the wrong way. You might feel tired, still have work to do, you might have training later, so you reach for another coffee or energy drink. And for a little while, it feels like that actually works. Caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. It blocks the signal that tells your body that you're tired. That's why the crash hits so hard later. And that's also why I'm so excited about Element's new lemonade iced tea. It gives you Element's science-backed electrolyte formula of sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Plus, it contains no sugar or junk ingredients. Instead of a huge spike and crash, you'll get a more steadier feeling, with more salt and less caffeine. For Jiu-Jitsu, that makes a lot more sense to me. I don't want to feel wired before training. I want to feel hydrated, sharp, and ready to move. And now you can grab a free sample pack with any Element order using my link, so you can try their most popular flavors. Get yours at drinklmnt.com/JordanTeaches. This deal is only available through my link. You must go to drinklmnt.com/JordanTeaches. He restart and he shoots on me before I'm even ready, but I'd expect nothing less from Alex. If you're not doing prison rules with your friends, then what are you even doing? I used his aggressive nature against him and hit a nice Uchimata to return him to the floor. This was very reminiscent of our last roll, where I used his forward momentum to hit this highlight reel hip throw. The only real difference this time is that I positioned my leg between his legs rather than to the outside of his legs, which is what makes it an Uchimata. He's pulling me close, probably in hopes to enter a choi bar, but I use that pull against him by going with the pull to pass his guard. He turtles again, and again, I prioritize getting behind him before he can get a hold of my legs. I again try to gator roll, but I almost mess it up this time, and he almost lands on top of me. That was a close call, and probably not worth the risk, as the reward isn't that much of a reward. It's kind of more of the same for a bit, and one thing that Alex needs to work on is a tighter, more defensive turtle. Turtling is good, but he should better prioritize not letting me lock my hands around his body. He's got to block off that space better between his ear and shoulder and his armpit and hip, as that's what I need for body locks and seatbelt grips. Grips which would really control his movement and connect me to him. He had a bit of the same issue as a blue belt, letting me so easily inside his turtle. And turtle is what I call a defensive shell, and you need to keep people out of that shell. Turtle is great, but you want to use it to go to briefly, and not in a way which allows them to connect their hands around your torso, and then use it to improve position. You don't want to spend too long in turtle where they might get their hands connected. I have his back and I start using the straitjacket system. I pass his top arm off to my leg to pin it to his body, and then trap his bottom arm with my bottom hand. Now it's my one arm versus his no arms. I lift up slightly on the nose to lift his chin and make enough space to get my hand underneath his chin, and now I crawl that hand deeper and deeper before fully securing the rear naked. Right away again, Alex pounces on me and I'm left in quarter guard. I use my left arm to stop him from controlling my head, but now I'm left with that arm across his body and he starts to lock up the darce. This is a short grip type of darce similar to the one Islam used against Dustin Poirier. To stay safe, I'm trying to stay belly down, where it's harder for him to finish compared to if he got my hips to the mat. I'm not completely safe, as he once almost put me to sleep in this exact same position, so I'm definitely respecting it, and I'm a bit worried he may actually be the first one to submit me on YouTube. I keep trying for a sit out, which is what I did here to escape this darce. But Alex is not letting go without a fight. Eventually, I just yank my head out of there with all my might, and immediately lift him with my left leg to put him to the floor. I kind of just hold on to him for a bit and stall because I'm really tired. I've been working extensively on my fitness and have made huge progress, but still, an intense role like this can drain me pretty fast. But I'm working on it and I'll be my best self soon enough. But you know, it takes time. He again gets me in that darce and I'm thinking, shit, I can't believe I'm back in this after fighting so hard to get out. But as soon as I see his hands disconnected, no longer together, I sit through into my guard and right away hit what I call a Ronda Rousey armbar, because she hit it so many times in her career. To extend his arm, I use my leg on his other arm to pry it out, and that's all she wrote. Let me know what videos you want to see from me next. Alright, if you're still here, please leave a comment or a fist bump, and I'll see you guys next time.